So next up is about nitrogen chemistry, so ammonia. So you have ammonium phosphate. So from the formula, the Mr itself is going to be, if you use your periodic table carefully, so 14 plus 4 times 1, that's 18, times 3 plus 31 plus 16 times 4, I get 149. Alright, so therefore the percentage by mass of nitrogen. How many nitrogen is present in this? There is 3 times 1, there is 3 nitrogen. Each nitrogen is 14, divided by the total molecular mass. Work out the percentage. I got 28.1879. And they did not mention it to me, but I suppose this is 3 sig fig, okay? So I could get away by rounding it up to 3 significant figure, simply because the data I use has 1, 2, and 3 significant figure when they don't tell me how much to round up, yeah? Okay? So why do you use nitrogen containing fertilizers on their field? Well, your plants need the nutrients, right? Okay, so plants need nutrients, including nitrogen. Okay, so the nitrogen is among the NPK, the nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, for plant growth. Okay, so obviously you use fertilizer to improve your yield of your crops. Yeah, okay. So this is a standard test for ammonia. So how do you test for ammonia? You pass the gas through damp referred to moist or wet. Okay, it's got to contain a little bit of water. It's got to be red litmus paper, because your red litmus paper, your damp or your moist or your wet red litmus paper will turn blue. This is something you have done in your practical all the time, so you got to remember what you do, okay, in order to be able to relate it to your theory paper. Yeah. Why adding calcium hydroxide to ammonium phosphate? This is also in your paper 3. Test for NH4+. What do? You add hydroxide, whether it's calcium hydroxide or sodium hydroxide, whatever hydroxide. You warm it, and then you get NH3 gas. Okay, so hydroxide ion can react with ammonium ion. Okay, so the ammonium ion there is NH4+. You happen to have 3 of them because you need to balance out the charge of the phosphate P(O4)3-. This is also in polyatomic ions that you're supposed to identify in O level. That's why this comes out in an O level paper. Yeah. To release NH3 gas, therefore loss of nitrogen from the fertilizer, which is what is intended to be used for, and you don't want that. Okay, you want the nitrogen to be in the fertilizer for your plant growth, yeah, for improved plant growth. And then if it reacts with the hydroxide ion to release ammonia, you will lose nitrogen. Okay, I suppose you can show the ionic equation. There is only one ionic equation. Doesn't matter what hydroxide you use. Okay, and then doesn't matter what ammonium stuff you use. It's always going to give you NH3 gas plus H2O liquid. You do need a little bit of heat. Without the heat, as you saw in practical classes, without the warming up in the test tube or the boiling tube, this won't work. Of course, in nature, when you have the fertilizer spray on the soil, the aqueous come from a little bit of water. They use water the plant, or from rainwater. And then obviously, where does the heat come from? Well, you get sun outside, so sun will give you the heat, yeah, okay, and then slowly will release the ammonia gas and lead to the loss of nitrogen. Okay, nitrogen is present in dry air, so this is just stating. So there's 78%. Okay, 78, yeah, 78, yeah. Nitrogen oxide are atmospheric pollutants, so you can use a catalytic converter. Describe the reactions. So why do they use plural there? Because you got to talk about more than one, and that's why you get 2 marks. If you just talk about one reaction, you are not going to gain a lot of marks. Yeah, all right. So I can tell you one reaction which you need to know the equation. You can write. I'm sure you've seen this equation. You can write this equation in your answer, and it will prove the point. Okay, this is an oxide of nitrogen. All right, this is an oxide of nitrogen. The NO reacts with the CO. Okay, the CO get oxidized. Okay, it gains. You can think about it gaining the oxygen, but it also increases in oxidation number, and you form the N2. The most common mistake in this equation is they know it formed N2 and they still didn't balance the equation. So it's a half there. All right. These are all gas. These are all gas in the car engine. Okay. So there's one way the NO is removed. Okay. So what happened is you use a catalytic converter. You need to talk about how that works. How? What is present? Does it just happen on its own? No, not really. No. Okay. So catalytic converter has honeycomb structure. You should probably have done this for greater surface area. It has a honeycomb structure fitted with precious metal catalyst. So we're talking about catalyst, all right? And you should specify the metals used, things like rhodium, palladium, platinum. Okay, fitted with precious metal catalyst. Maybe spell it out correctly. Catalyst. The idea of the honeycomb structure is to increase the surface area, of the catalyst, catalytic sites for NO to react to form clean N2 and CO2 as the reaction shows here. Okay. What else? Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, that's it. Really. Okay. That will be the same with NO2 as well, although I'm not going to write the equation for you. So I guess I can't write 2 equations for you. So there's just one equation there. I can talk about the use of the catalytic converter, but it's a result of using these precious metals, how the structure is going to look like, and then it's going to convert dirty, very bad for you, yeah, toxic, yeah, dirty into clean. All right, so this can bind your red blood cell, and then it prevent you from getting enough oxygen, and then obviously can kill you. Yeah, same thing with this can cause breathing problem as well. All right, in the long term, obviously. So one source of nitrogen oxide is from car engine. So one other source, well, you can get nitrogen oxide from lightning as well. So this is a very case study type. This is the natural, and this is the man-made. So you use car, right? So there's man-made sources of oxide of nitrogen. This is natural. You don't make it. It's a result of lightning. Yeah. Okay. Lightning is the one that give you the spark, not the sound. Yeah. The sound is thunder. Okay. So be very careful.